Let's change the bulb in the tail light, brake light, and in the license plate light. This rear bulb is a 1157. Got it in red. I think this should be good. It is a dual stage bulb. Push, twist, the bulb comes out. I'm going to line up these pegs. And we're in. We didn't do a proper before and after. Before. After. Hopefully it's a touch brighter and uses less current. For the license plate bulb, it looks like there are some bolts back here, one on each side, and kind of hard to see, but it looks like an 8mm. Will do the job. Okay. Comes right off. I'll give that a wipe down. And this bulb I believe it's a bulb number 67, GE667. Got these from superbrightleds.com. Not sponsored. Before and after, about the same size. We can do our before and after comparison. Oh yeah, much brighter. And again, more importantly, less power.
For the indicator lights, pry up the bezel with a small screwdriver. This will get them out of the rubber boot. Then, push the boot back, and within the boot is the light bulb. Roll the boot back so you can grasp the bulb. I had to use a pair of pliers to gently pry out the bulb without crushing it. I was then able to put in a 194 equivalent bulb, pushed it into the socket, verified that it worked, rolled the rubber boot back up, pushed it back through the hole, and then pushed the bezel back down. Now we're going to replace the bulbs for the high beam indicator and the speedometer backlight. So we remove the speedometer cable and the two small nuts that hold the back of the speedometer case in place. This is the light for the speedometer backlight. Gently pull the bulb assembly out, and once out, you can replace it with a 194 bulb. Simply pull the bulb out, pop a new one in, check that it works, and you're good to go. Now for the high beam indicator light, this was a bit of a challenge. First, it was really hard to remove from the speedometer. I was afraid I was going to pull the wires from the harness. But after gently persuading the plug out of the speedometer, I was able to swap the bulb in with the number 74. And plugging it back in, I didn't see anything. This was a problem. I thought maybe the bulb was burnt. It was a brand new bulb, but I really couldn't get the light to come on when I turned the high beams on. I realized I was looking at something that might have been a bit of a problem, and it was something I needed to look into. I thought perhaps that maybe, put the old bulb back in. Maybe it was a voltage problem, started up the bike. That wasn't the case. The high beam indicator bulb does not seem to be coming on, so it plugs into this socket and turn the switch on. Not getting anything. Even put the old bulb back in, and it's just not. Something's just not right. So, going to see if I can put some test leads inside to make sure that this connector is actually getting 12 volts. Tricky. I think these leads might be a little bit too thick. No. Help if I put the motorcycle on. Okay. Ooh, getting
Not even 5 volts. Switch these around just so that way we get a positive voltage. 4.68 volts. And that's what the high beam switch off. Now let's turn the high beam switch on. 0.4. I think we need to go to the wiring diagram and figure out what it actually should be getting in terms of voltage. Let's see if we can figure this out. Alright, we got the wiring diagram. And it does tell us that this is definitely a 12 volt circuit. And in tracing the wires, obviously the wires for the high beam indicator go into the speedometer, and then feeding the speedometer we have a kind of switch box where a lot of the wires go into. So we have the wiring harness coming from the left handlebar feeding inside here. That's where the switch to the high beam is located. We also have the wiring harness coming from the right handlebar feeding into here as well. And from here we have the wires that feed not only the indicator lights on top for neutral and the turn signal, but also into the speedometer itself. So what we're going to do is remove this cover, see what we can find there. Move this to the side. Speedometer cable. And we might end up seeing if we can get inside the speedometer itself. That should be fun. I think taking this case off is just a matter of 2 Phillips head screws. There we go. These little tabs hook it up on the bottom. Fun. I think we're going to move this light, bend it down, so that way we have more room. So there are bolts on either side. Let's just quickly There we go. Let this gently hang out of the way. Now we're going to have a look inside. The wires that go up for this harness. Oh, I already see something. This is awesome. See if we can get in closer. I already see here a green wire, which, as we know, look at this, we've got a green wire for the high beam indicator. It's not connected to anything. And let's see what else we find. I'm trying not to move too much because I don't want to unplug something and have me think that it was actually the original problem. Gently just trying to separate these wires. Okay. What is this? Got a black wire here. This goes to the neutral indicator switch. So I think we leave that one alone. Do see some melted wires. Probably not a good sign, but let's keep plowing on here. Got a black and red. That looks like they can disconnect. I think these go to the turn signals up here. left and right. Okay, I think when, oh, and this is interesting. I see a wire here that has nothing connected into it. Now that could be fine. That could just be a junction for these two brown wires to connect. But I think now we go back to the wiring diagram. So I need to figure out where this wire, which is, yep, this is the harness for both the speedometer, ambient light, the backlight, and the high beam light. All four wires here. I've got two green, a brown, and a blue, but I guess that the greens are connected somewhere in here. But it looks like this green, it's got no home. So let's go figure out where it goes. So I was just trying to dig a little more into this. It's tight confines. But I'm noticing there is more green wires back here. And I do see an empty spot. An empty spot for where our indicator light can connect. I'm just going to be using this to point it out to you guys. Right over here. Thing is, with this, how does it reach? Seems to be pretty tight. So what I'm going to do, kind of pulled some of these wires out, and I really hope I can get them back into their snug position. Got a rubber grommet on the bottom that connects into this box. Pushing the grommet back in, just so that way I can see how much space I have. How am I supposed to get that in there? So this side one goes, this also has a grommet, one for each side. That's good. I think what I might do is see if I can route the cable that comes from these speedometer lights behind all of this, because that's where that extra green wire is, back here. To do that, I'm going to have to remove the brown wire and the blue wire and then reconnect them. And I'm going to have to do this carefully. I don't want to yank these leads out of these wires. So this brown wire I'm going to hold here, and oh, that's pretty easy. Okay. Let's see, this blue one. No, I did the opposite. I pulled a different blue wire out of its harness. Well, that's for the headlight. There's some strain. Okay. Oh, I see. That blue wire is probably the indicator that tells when the high beam is on in the headlight. It actually carries probably signal and voltage up into the high beam indicator light. Okay. There we go. I'm going to put this other blue wire back in though. You need tinier fingers for this. Okay, it's clipped in. All right, so now this wire is unhooked. Okay, tucked it behind, but I want all these wires to be in this opening, including this one. Look at this one. It's for the neutral indicator. It's crimped because it was just caught between the edge of the case and the box. So we'll see if we can stuff that one inside as well. So now that it's behind, I can got to get the green one in the back, the blue one back up front through here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this black connector for now. Give myself a little bit more room, maybe? What do we think? Yeah? A little more room. At least I can see a little bit. Okay, blue connector. Blue connector is in. I'm going to get the green connector in first before I do the brown because I cannot get in here. Okay, I'm inside the plastic housing. Small pliers seem to come in handy. Oh, I clipped in. Okay. Brown wire, we're going to come, I don't know, on this side of this black connector. Let's try this. Okay, that's in. Before I tuck everything back to where it belongs, I'm just going to connect everything and give the system a little test. Switch on. That's good. No sparks. Ah. Let's try turning the switch on. High beams are now on. Hey! 12 volts. Whoa. Oops. I think I just shorted it out. Let's try this again. Oh. Uh-oh. I accidentally touched both leads inside there, and the headlight just went out. That probably means we blew a fuse. Let's go look for the fuses. Fuses are on this side of the bike. Bike is now off. Oh, they look okay. Now, blown fuse. I don't know if you can see that. Great. Looks like we're going to run to the auto parts store and buy some spare fuses. Stay tuned. Picked up some new fuses. There are two different fuses here. There's a 15 amp and two 7 amp fuses. The 7 amp fuses control the lights, headlight and tail light. So let's see what we got. Okay, new fuses in place. Instead of using the voltmeter to check, since it's hard to get the leads in there without blowing the fuse, I'm just going to put the bulb back in. Let's try that. Okay, headlight, high beam indicators are off. Headlight is on. High beams are on, and we still have nothing. Still nothing. Why is that? Let's try this bulb the other way. Ooh, there we go. Awesome. I think we're all set. I'm going to now power this off. High beams off. Ignition off. Let's see how this looks from this side. There. High beams on. Nice and bright. Look at that. Now let's see if we can gently persuade all of these wires back into place without causing a problem. Before I do that though, on this blue connector, in order to remove the wire before, I had to really open up this brass housing. And what I now want to do is kind of squeeze it back closed. So that way it has a nice snug connection. tug test. Good. Okay. Pushing everything in kind of firmly. Bottom tabs kind of lift up on there. Oh, I think that might be it. Just going to get this light back into position. I'll align it better another day. And now we get to put this back together now that all our bulbs have been replaced. First, the speedometer cable. No, wait. Scratch that. All right, now the speedometer cable. And this project is complete. We replaced both indicator lights for neutral turn signal, the high beam indicator and the backlight. The backlight really pops now. The old light was barely throwing off any light whatsoever. It really, I mean, you can just see the difference here. And not only that, but we also put LED lights for the brakes, as well as for our license plate when we get that. Future video, we will replace the headlight. If I can fix it, so can you.